Diana stood in her living room that Tuesday evening, helping her son James with a tricky algebra question when her phone buzzed softly on the table. She reached for it without thinking, unaware that the next 60 seconds would change something heavy inside her. The message came from the family group chat, and when she opened it, her breath stalled. Finalized New Year Bahamas resort booking. Confirmed 8 people total. Me, Linda, Brad, Kate, Tom and Sarah. She whispered, 8. Lisa, her wife, walked in from the kitchen. Diana silently handed her the phone, watching her expression shift in seconds. Little Ella ran in with flour on her nose, smiling brightly. "Mommy, the cookies are almost ready," she said, but stopped when she saw their tense faces. Diana forced a gentle smile. "Nothing's wrong, sweetheart." But James had already seen the screen. He spoke carefully but with clarity. "Is that about Grandpa's trip?" Ella's eyes grew hopeful. "Are we going to the beach with Grandpa?" Her innocent question floated in the room like smoke. Diana's voice softened. "Grandpa's trip is for Uncle Brad's family this time." Ella's smile faded. "But why can't we go, Mommy?" she whispered sadly. James started counting with his fingers. "Grandma, Grandpa, Uncle Brad, Aunt Kate, Tom and Sarah. That's only 6 people," he said calmly. "Plus us is 10. So, they chose them over us." His tone wasn't angry, just factual, and somehow that cut deeper. After the kids were asleep, Diana sat alone in her office scrolling through months of messages in the family chat. She needed answers. She read through excitement and plans that never once mentioned her, Lisa, or their children. No one had asked if they wanted to come. It was as if her entire family had been erased. She kept scrolling. Brad had messaged, "Kids have been through a lot, can't afford a big trip." Her parents replied instantly, "We'll pay." Early Christmas gift. $18,000 for Brad's family. Then her mother added, "Why don't your father and I come too? Make it a real family trip." Diana stared at that line, her heart tightening. A real family trip. Not once did they mention inviting her, Lisa, James, or little Ella. No one even considered a 10-person package. They simply made plans without her, as though she didn't belong. Something cold settled deeply inside her chest. Later that night, Diana opened LinkedIn and Instagram, following a suspicion she didn't want to admit. Brad's career struggle looked effortless. Premium game seats, fancy dinners, polished Corvette photos every week. "So Mom and Dad are funding all of it," she whispered. She pulled up an Excel file she'd kept quietly, listing 2 years of family patterns. Missed birthdays, excuses, unequal gifts, and forgotten moments. Every entry pointed to the same truth. Brad was the priority. Her children were treated like afterthoughts. Diana leaned back in her chair, exhaling slowly. "Enough," she murmured. "My kids deserve to come first." The next morning, Diana sat quietly at the kitchen table while Lisa packed lunches. The children were upstairs getting ready for school, but Diana's mind was stuck in the group chat. "They didn't even think about us," she whispered. Lisa placed a hand on her shoulder. "You look hurt, Diana. Talk to me." Diana showed her the chat messages again. Lisa's eyes darkened. "They booked a whole trip without us. Without even asking." Diana nodded slowly. "Not even a question." Lisa sighed deeply. "Your mom and dad always choose Brad. But this feels intentional." Later that evening, while the kids worked on homework, Diana opened her laptop again. She scrolled through the family chat as if searching for a missing clue. But nothing changed. Each message was another reminder that her family had celebrated, planned, and bonded, while she remained invisible. She whispered, "Was I ever truly part of this family?" Lisa came beside her and sat quietly. After a long pause, Lisa said softly, "You're part of our family. Me, James, and Ella. That's who matters." Diana felt tears form but blinked them away. "So why doesn't my own family see that?" Thursday afternoon, at exactly 3 o'clock, Diana's mother sent a private text. "Honey, Could you water our plants while we're in the Bahamas? Key is under the mat. You're such a lifesaver. Have a nice quiet week at home. Diana stared at the message, stunned. No invitation. No apology. No shame. Only the assumption that she would stay home with nothing better to do. Lisa read the message over her shoulder. They really expect you to sit home and smile while they're on vacation. Diana typed slowly. Sure, Mom. She pressed send, then whispered, never again. An hour later, Diana opened her laptop and typed into the search bar, Luxury Dubai Resorts New Year Package. Stunning images filled her screen. Towering glass buildings, desert sunsets, and a hotel shaped like a sail glowing against the night sky. She clicked on the Burj Al Arab package, reading every detail. 5 nights, 2-bedroom suite, desert safari, ski Dubai, New Year's Eve gala with fireworks. The price. $18,500. She whispered. That's almost exactly what they're spending on Brad. Lisa entered the room and froze when she saw the screen. Diana, are you serious? Diana answered softly. Very. They sat together at the kitchen table, the laptop open between them. Explain this again, Lisa said, leaning closer. Diana took a breath. Mom and Dad spent $18,000 on Brad's family, without blinking. Meanwhile, James and Ella are left behind. I want our kids to know they matter. Lisa looked at the photos again. Fireworks, snow in the desert, glowing beaches. Slowly she nodded. They've been asking for a real vacation for years. Diana whispered. This isn't revenge. It's teaching them their worth. Lisa finally whispered, book it. And Diana clicked the button, sealing everything. The confirmation page glowed on the screen. Your extraordinary Dubai experience awaits. Diana exhaled slowly, feeling a strange mix of fear and relief wash over her. She took a screenshot and saved it quietly. Lisa touched her hand gently. How do you feel? Diana shook her head. Like I just chose us for the first time in years. That night, she ignored every message in the family group chat. She didn't want explanations or excuses. She wanted peace. Before bed, she looked at James and Ella asleep and whispered, You matter. You matter more than they'll ever know. The morning after Christmas, Diana gathered the kids around the breakfast table. James looked curious, and little Ella swung her legs under the chair with excitement. We have a surprise, Diana began. Lisa pulled up a photo of the Burj Khalifa, and both kids leaned forward. We're going to Dubai for New Year. For a moment, James went completely still. Dubai, he whispered. Ella gasped loudly. Is that the tallest building in the world? Lisa nodded. Yes, sweetheart. We'll see it together. Ella pressed her hands to her cheeks. Are you serious, Mommy? And Diana smiled softly. Completely. As Lisa swiped through more pictures, indoor skiing, desert camels, underwater restaurants, the kids' excitement soared. Ella squealed. Are there really penguins in the snow? James added quickly. Do we get to ski too? Diana nodded. Everything you see here, we're doing it. The children erupted into happy chatter, planning outfits, animals to bring, and the coolest pictures ever. Then Ella paused. Can we tell Grandma and Grandpa? Diana exchanged a careful glance with Lisa. Not yet, sweetie, she said softly. This trip is just for us right now. James understood instantly. He whispered, So this is our own tradition. The next day they went out shopping for clothes and shoes. Normally, Diana checked prices and counted every dollar twice, but today was different. Ella held up a bright sundress, her eyes shining. Can I get this one? Lisa smiled. Get 2, baby. James picked out new sneakers and asked, Are these okay? Diana hugged him. We're celebrating. Everything's okay. At checkout, the total flashed high, but Diana didn't flinch. The clerk asked, Going somewhere warm? When Diana said Dubai, the woman's eyes widened. Wow, that's incredible. James immediately added, We're skiing with penguins. The clerk laughed softly. Lucky kids. That evening, the family group chat exploded with excitement. Photos of packed suitcases, beach toys, and new swimsuits for Tom and Sarah. Every message celebrated Brad's children. Our beautiful grandbabies, her mother wrote proudly. Diana watched the messages pile up while she sat quietly beside Lisa. Not once did anyone mention James or Ella. Not once did anyone ask about her plans. Lisa touched her arm gently. Still sure about this? Diana nodded with calm certainty. More than ever. She turned her phone face down, letting the chat continue without her. She finally understood something. Silence could be powerful too. Saturday night at 10 p.m., Diana received a final message from her mother. Sweetheart, the plant watering instructions are on the counter. Please stop by twice while we're gone. Have a nice quiet week at home. Diana stared at her phone, feeling that familiar sting of being overlooked. She typed only 7 words. Have a great trip, Mom. No explanations. No hints about Dubai. No guilt. She set her phone down and closed her eyes. Lisa whispered, Are you ready? Diana nodded. We leave in 6 hours. I'm done being the backup daughter. For the first time she believed it. The alarm rang at 4:30 a.m. The house was still dark as Diana loaded the suitcases into the SUV. James and Ella climbed in, sleepy but excited, wrapped in blankets. Lisa drove while Diana watched the empty streets pass by. At the airport, the Emirates check-in agent smiled warmly. Dubai for New Year. You'll love it. She handed them business-class boarding passes, which made James stare in disbelief. Ella clutched her little travel pillow like treasure. In the Emirates lounge, Diana took a photo of the kids by the window with a massive plane behind them. Our new traditions begin. Before boarding, Diana posted the photo on Instagram with a simple caption, Teaching my kids that family creates its own traditions. She tagged Dubai and set her phone to airplane mode before any reactions could arrive. On the plane, James marveled at his lie-flat seat. Mom, this turns into a bed. Ella squealed when attendants handed out pajamas and stuffed camels. Do I get to keep him? She asked. Diana nodded. Watching their joy filled her heart. When dinner came and the kids received sundaes, Ella whispered, This is like a movie. Diana smiled softly. It's our movie. Halfway through the flight, while the children slept peacefully, Diana switched off airplane mode. Her phone exploded instantly. Dozens of missed calls, texts from her parents, angry messages from Brad. Her father wrote in all caps, Call me immediately. Her mother wrote, Where are you? Please answer. Brad's message said, Are you serious? You ruined everything. Diana scrolled calmly, feeling strangely steady. Lisa whispered, Bad. Diana nodded. Exactly what we expected. She turned her phone off again, leaned back in her seat and whispered, This trip isn't about them. It's about us. As the plane descended, city lights appeared below them, glowing like stars spread across the desert. Ella pressed her face to the window. Mommy, the buildings are shining. James whispered. Is that the tallest one? Diana smiled. Yes. Welcome to Dubai, sweetheart. At the airport, a driver held a sign with their name. The ride to the hotel felt unreal. Skyscrapers glowing with colors, wide highways, and lights in every direction. When the Burj Al Arab came into view, Ella gasped. That's where we're staying. Diana squeezed her hand gently. Yes, you deserve the best. And she meant every word. A butler named Rashid welcomed them into the hotel lobby with a graceful bow. Miss Diana, I'll be assisting your family during your stay, he said warmly. The private elevator rode to the 18th floor and opened straight into their suite. Ella spun in a full circle. This is our room. Rashid smiled gently. This is your suite, little one. James rushed to the window shouting, I can see the whole ocean. Lisa whispered to Diana. This is unbelievable. Diana nodded slowly. This week is for them, Lisa. Only them. For the first time in years, her heart felt light. That night, after the kids fell asleep from excitement and jet lag, Diana stepped into the bathroom and finally powered on her phone. Messages flooded in immediately. Her father had written, "Where are you? Answer US." Her mother pleaded, "Please tell me you're not in Dubai." Brad's message was full of insults and blame. Diana read each one quietly, her face unreadable. Lisa knocked softly. "Are you okay?" Diana nodded. "Yes." "They're upset, but that's expected." Lisa asked, "Will you call them?" Diana whispered, "Not tonight. Tonight is ours." She turned off her phone again and exhaled. The next morning, Rashid led them to a restaurant called Al Maha, perched high above the sea. Huge windows showed the entire Palm Jumeirah. Ella froze in wonder. "Mommy, it looks like a fairy city." James inspected his plate carefully. "Is this real gold?" he asked, pointing at the tiny flakes on his French toast. Rashid smiled. "Yes, young sir. Edible gold." Ella gasped. "I'm eating gold." Diana laughed softly. She snapped a photo of her kids with a glowing city behind them and posted it. "Teaching my children that they are worth their weight in gold." 10 minutes after posting, her father called. Diana answered calmly on speaker. "Where are you?" he demanded. Diana looked out at the shining coastline. "In Dubai," she replied. Her mother's voice jumped in, emotional and frantic. "How could you do this without telling us?" Diana kept her voice gentle. "You didn't tell us about the Bahamas trip. You didn't ask if we wanted to come." Her father snapped. "That was different." Diana asked quietly, "Why?" "Because it included Brad." Silence followed. Then Brad shouted from the background, "You ruined our vacation." Diana ended the call. "No," she whispered. "I saved mine." Later that afternoon they visited Ski Dubai. Snowflakes fell from the ceiling while penguins waddled in a small enclosure. Ella knelt down as one walked toward her. "Hi, Mr. Waddles," she whispered. The penguin nudged her boot gently. James took to skiing quickly, sliding down the beginner hill with surprising grace. "Mom, I didn't fall," he shouted proudly. Diana recorded everything, her heart swelling. Lisa squeezed her hand. "Look how happy they are." Diana nodded. This is what family should look like. For once, she wasn't thinking about who excluded her. She was thinking about who loved her. New Year's Eve arrived with a glow. Their suite filled with soft music as they dressed. Ella wore a sparkling gold dress. James looked proud in his small suit. Lisa stepped out in a deep blue gown and Diana whispered, "You look beautiful." They took a family photo with the glowing Burj Khalifa visible outside the window. Diana crafted her caption carefully. "Family is who shows up for you. We don't wait for invitations. We create our own traditions." Lisa read it and said, "This will cause a storm." Diana nodded. "Then let it." She hit post without hesitation. At the Skyview bar, they had the perfect view of the Burj Khalifa. Jake and Ella, now wide awake with excitement, held glasses of sparkling cider. Music filled the room. Ella tugged Diana's hand. "Mommy, this is the best night ever." James added softly, "Thank you for bringing us." Diana hugged them both tightly. Her phone buzzed again and again in her purse, but she ignored it. The fireworks team prepared outside. People gathered at the windows. Lisa touched Diana's arm. "No matter what they say tomorrow, you did the right thing." Diana whispered, "I know. I finally know." The countdown began. 10, 9, 8. Ella shouted louder than anyone. 7, 5. James joined in, eyes glowing. 4, 3, 2. Diana looked at her family, her real family, smiling and holding hands. 1. Fireworks erupted across the sky, exploding down the Burj Khalifa in golden waterfalls of light. Ella screamed with joy. James whispered, "This is magic." Diana felt tears rise. Not from hurt. From healing. For once, she wasn't thinking about being left out. She was thinking about building something new. Something hers. Something strong. Family where every child felt chosen. They returned home 5 days later, glowing from the experience. Their neighbor, Mrs. Linda, had watered the plants like she promised. In the living room, the kids placed souvenirs everywhere. Tiny camels, sand-filled bottles, postcards. Diana checked her phone. 57 messages, 33 missed calls. Her father wrote, "We're landing tomorrow. We will talk at 11. Her mother begged for understanding. Brad accused her of acting superior. Aunt Carol, however, wrote, "Don't let them guilt you. You finally stood up for yourself." Diana smiled gently. Lisa asked, "Ready for tomorrow?" Diana whispered, "Ready to speak the truth." At exactly 11 a.m., her parents arrived at the door, sunburned from the Bahamas and carrying stress in their faces. Lisa had taken James and Ella to her mother's house. This conversation wasn't for children. Her parents sat stiffly on the couch while Diana faced them. Her father began, "Your Instagram post made us look like terrible parents." Diana answered calmly, "I never used your names." Her mother cried, "Relatives are calling. They think we favor Brad." Diana looked her in the eye. "Do you?" Silence fell, deep, sharp, uncomfortable. For the first time, they couldn't deny the truth. Her father stood abruptly. "We support all our children," he insisted. Diana opened a folder she had prepared days earlier. Inside were printed timelines. Every missed birthday, every unequal gift, every excuse made for Brad while her own children were ignored. "This is 2 years' worth of proof," she said quietly. Her mother flipped through the pages, her hands trembling. "We didn't mean to hurt anyone," she whispered. Diana replied softly, "Intent doesn't erase impact." Her father snapped, "You're overreacting." Diana shook her head. "James asked why Grandpa didn't love him as much as Tom. Explain that to me." Her mother burst into tears, covering her mouth. "He said that." Diana nodded slowly. "He's 10. Ella is 7. They notice everything." Her father paced the room, defensive but uneasy. "You blindsided us with Dubai," he muttered. Diana answered, "You blindsided my children with the Bahamas." He froze. She continued, "You asked me to water your plants during a trip you didn't include us in. You assumed I had nothing better to do. You didn't even ask." Her mother whispered shakily, "We just thought Brad needed more." Diana's voice steadied. "And did my children deserve less?" Just then the front door opened without knocking. Brad and Kate walked in. Brad sneered, "So this is the big drama?" Diana sighed. "You weren't invited, Brad." Her father said quickly, "We're handling this as a family." Brad pointed at Diana. "You embarrassed us. You acted like you're better." Diana stood tall. "I acted like a mother who puts her kids first." Brad scoffed. "You wasted money to make a point." Diana replied calmly, "I invested in memories my children will never forget." "That's not waste." Kate snapped, "You stalked our social media." Diana answered, "You posted publicly." Her father raised his voice. "Enough. You owe this family an apology." Diana stared at him. "For what?" "For choosing my family. For teaching my kids they matter." He jabbed a finger toward her. "Delete the posts and apologize." Diana sat back. "No," Brad shouted. "You're tearing us apart." Diana laughed bitterly. "I didn't tear anything apart. I just stopped pretending everything was fine." Her mother cried again. "We're losing you over a misunderstanding." Diana softened. "Mom, I've been losing you for years. You just didn't notice." Silence filled the room like heavy fog. Then Lisa arrived, returning quietly through the front door. She stepped beside Diana, her voice steady but full of fire. "If the choice is between your approval and our children's emotional safety, we choose our children." Her father glared. You're encouraging this. Lisa nodded. Absolutely. She continued. James and Ella had the happiest week of their lives. They felt seen. They felt loved. They felt chosen. Kate muttered. Lucky them. Lisa turned sharply. Every child deserves that, Kate. Every one. Brad rolled his eyes. So now you're perfect parents. Diana whispered. No. But we're present ones. Her father exhaled loudly. You're making a huge mistake, Diana. She stood slowly, meeting his eyes. Maybe. But it's my mistake to make. And for once, it won't hurt my children. She walked to the front door and opened it. If you want to stay in our lives, the rules are simple. James and Ella are equal to Tom and Sarah. No more favoritism. No more assumptions. No more ignoring us. Her mother's voice trembled. And if we can't do that? Diana swallowed. Then we'll love you from a distance. But my kids will never feel second again. One by one they left. Her father silent and stiff, her mother crying softly, Brad muttering curses under his breath, Kate avoiding eye contact. When the door closed, Diana felt her knees weaken, and Lisa caught her gently. You okay? She asked. Diana nodded slowly. Lighter, she whispered. For the first time in years, lighter. Lisa hugged her tightly. You protected our kids. That's what matters. Diana leaned into her, allowing the weight of years to finally fall away. The house felt quiet, peaceful, almost sacred. This silence wasn't loneliness. It was freedom. Weeks passed. No messages came from Brad. None from Kate. But slowly, carefully, her parents began reaching out. First her mother, asking if she could take Ella to the zoo. Just the two of them. Then her father, calling James to congratulate him on a school project. Small steps, but steps in the right direction. Diana didn't rush them. She didn't expect perfection. She only wanted effort. Lisa noticed the change too. They're trying, she whispered one night. Diana nodded. Trying is enough for now. But she also knew she would never let things return to what they once were. Spring arrived. Diana and Lisa booked a family trip to Tokyo for April break. When they mentioned it to her parents, they hesitated, then declined. Maybe next time, her mother said gently. Diana accepted that with grace. She wasn't planning trips to include or exclude anyone. She was simply living. James asked, Can we make Dubai our new New Year tradition? Ella added, And Tokyo our spring one. Diana laughed softly. Yes, sweethearts. We're making our own traditions now. They hugged her tightly, their small arms warm against her. For once, Diana felt she was steering her own life. One evening, while choosing photos for a Dubai album, Ella climbed onto Diana's lap. Mommy, she asked softly, will Grandma love us the same now? Diana wrapped her arms around her daughter. I hope so, she whispered. But even if she doesn't, we will always choose you first. Ella smiled sleepily, resting her head on Diana's chest. James placed a hand on her shoulder. Mom, Dubai was the best week ever. Diana kissed his forehead. Because it was ours. She looked around the warm living room, her family, her peace, her chosen path. She whispered, This is our tradition now.